Greetings, beloved ones. I am METATRON, Lord of Light, and I give you a warm welcome to this meeting. Rodeo you with the force of unconditional love created especially for this moment. A linear force that opens a unique way for everyone who read these words, in space and time chosen by you. The current phase of linear time on your planet is a uniquely opportune juncture for self-review and loneliness they have chosen. Many of you are teachers, especially those over 49, the 7th cycle of 7 years, and are lonely after the death of your comrades, of your broken relationships and marriage arrangements finalized. Although this path is sometimes very lonely, difficult and feel unnatural for many, it has a purpose. So we tell you to use this time wisely, embrace it, because they are on the threshold of a great graduation. Now, in many of your religious texts reiterates up a message that says, there is a season for everything and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Certainly there is a time for solitude. Divine solitude is a noble condition that offers quantum leaps in terms of growth, when one understands and acknowledges its profound purpose. Wait for it. The divine being is definitely only ultimately, the final search of his omnipotence. In your words, the soul alone comes to earth and the spirit out of the earth also alone. The ascended masters who walked the planet for millennia sought solitude in their incarnations before achieving masters. That is the case now with many of you. Many are now alone and believe that they must find a mate. Many seek his soulmate, your soulmate. However, we tell you that in many cases of elevated souls, they are lonely because so planned. It is certainly a noble and special enterprise. It is a time for divine solitude. Solitude for those seeking sanctified light, for those who seek what is called consecrated enlightenment. Choose specific periods in their life plan to be alone for a while. This does not mean it will always be alone. It just means choosing a time to work with the I left to get up themselves. Among the souls who seek the Master, about 1 of every 3 or 4 lives opted for solitude. The love of self is a condition that many lost, especially the Christian tradition. Christianity, with its teachings on original sin, taught you that you are sinners by nature, that you need to be forgiven. Ye past lives prostrate for forgiveness for being who you are. You have lost the sense of your divinity and you found that it is easier to give than to receive. You lost your balance. We tell you now that though the Earth is turning to the new crystalline age, the nature of energy resonance and the dimensional range of the planet to expand. The influence of duality/polarity for those who choose to advance beyond the 3rd dimension decreases. They have to ask themselves about what is best for the elevation of the soul, whether it's loneliness or have a partner. The question is timely and very relevant to many of you in this dawn of the Ascension. The short answer is that both the companion and solitude have their divine purpose, and we underline the word both. You gain much to commit to a loving relationship. This is the natural situation in most stays on the earth plane. But say you, Master, there is also a great purpose in solitude. In fact, it is a necessity. It is not by chance that a lot of you give the final steps on the path of enlightenment are alone in this period. This is the message of the Ascension that is coming. If you are among these, we tell you that perhaps your solitude is appropriate. Maybe that is as it should be. That's how many of you have planned. However, many feel that loneliness is too hard to bear and should get a companion. That flame mate so elusive. Dear souls, there is much confusion on the concept of twin flame, the soulmate, and the role and nature of great value in the Master of Being. The purpose of loneliness is to be a period of sublime reverence of self. Your life and experience in this plan are of your creation, a living tapestry, woven by your individual belief. Within the solitude, the soul finds himself driven to self-examination and gives opportunity to submerge deep into deep water flowing within you. Swimming in the ocean and in doing so discover love there is to learn how you really are, bright sparks of God. Relationships are a way of expressing the affectivity of your belief system and give you a learning, to put it easily, about what works or not. Detachment requires the individual to explore his being and to connect to your inner horizon to facilitate the sovereignty, which is the predominance of the Master. A relationship between two independent and sovereign human has a better balance, more creativity and longevity than a ratio of two being dependent on one another. They are to understand? Definitely each soul must clearly define the two and the masters. Auto-master embodied in periods of planned detachment. It is at these times that crystallizes impeccability. I tell you, dear, that crystallization through impeccability is a necessary phase of the auto-master. It is a calibration environment in multidimensional journey. Enter the void, the great mystery in search of strength and sovereign vision, alone, without a shoulder to lean on. In the process he discovers the sublime integrity and auto-completion. Let us not misunderstand, there is much value in the relationship of two people, the natural aspect of the companion of the soul, but definitely only traverses the path of the master in sovereign detachment. They light up when they learn to transcend your physical self. Each of you must endeavor to the final conquest of what we call impeccability. It is the crystallization or uniform clarity of the soul and is a necessary virtue of the master. Implies a drop dependence, release all that does not serve your divinity. It is reset and reprogram all that you are. We told you that the language, the fabric of higher dimension is sacred geometry. The impeccability is the geometric clarity of the souls of mind. When you define yourselves by impeccability, crystalline turn ye yourselves and therefore more capable of divine consciousness within the geometric light of coherent higher planes. This is possible only after deciding who you are, what you believe and live it, recognizing your truths and fully aligning yourselves with them. Metatron asked, are you saying that loving relationships, such as marriage, are not our last union? Metatron, remember that in the higher realm you are in sacred unit. Each is part of the divine. So in terms of experience of duality, the answer to your question is yes. In this context, yes. Teachers in the higher reality, it is a unified plural consciousness. Relations in the linear experience of duality are a means to an end. We are saying that loving relationships are a sacred, joyful tool to get the master's self, but ultimately, the journey of every soul there is a final requirement to grow in sovereignty. Being sovereign is truly self-sufficient and does not need to depend on others. This conceptual dependency can be an obstacle for the masters. Indeed, are united in sovereignty with your other half, the other part of your soul that's separated in the expression of duality. Each of you has a male and female component in duality and the other half merges in being integral divine before climbing to the highest realm. This indeed is a necessary merger and is taking place for many of you since the year 2012. Many believe that a soulmate and twin flame are the same. Only the syntax is equality. The true meanings are distinct. The twin flame is the other half of the same soul, split in duality, and these two very rarely are physically together. The soulmate in these terms is another soul who decided to grow together within physical duality, as a means of development and exploration of love with another soul. A move to a common purpose. The apparent paradox of linear relations, the concept of soulmate not the flame mate, is a relationship between two non-dependent sovereign beings have greater joy, greater balance, better communication with the divine and higher elevation opportunity, a relationship based on codependency. They are to understand? In these times, in this now, many are actually meet with their twin flames etheric non-physical, and molding your sacred fullness in the physical in order to enter the crystalline realm together. In most cases this meeting of souls is achieved in solitude or in independent sovereign relations. So we say embrace your chosen period for sovereign solitude. Is the sign of the intention of your souls to enter the master of the Mercalon crystal. Add that many of you, that in this life you are female, chosen especially effective functions for the balance of the planet at this time. It is not certain that the planet has unbalanced state with the dominance of patriarchal energies for millennia. Therefore it seems that a vast majority of people attracted to the New Age are female, to anchor the divine feminine, you see? Women have been labeled and conditioned as the weaker sex in your current paradigm. Nothing could be further from the truth. Many women are now single, they are conditioned to feel they should have a companion. We tell you again, embrace your solitude. You chose it, we respect you for the way they have elected. The ideal for the planet is not that they are male or female, but they are a perfect balance of both. although at the moment it is still a patriarchal resonance imbalance. We honor those in female biology. Its strength certainly is helping in the progress of creating a nutritional balance. The higher soul is truly androgynous, independent, self-sufficient. This does not mean that love is not the base frequency of the soul. Certainly is the highest vibration. It is the resonance that the ascended soul to the cosmos produces and is reflected back as a collective harmony of crystalline love. There will be a time when those who have served the function of soulmates, will individualize go and by your terms, separate ye shall joyfully. The evolved soul in achieving omnipotence, it is consummately self-sufficient and in so doing radiate spectacular unconditional love to all. This is how it should be. That's how they amount. The final graduation of the soul is not done in pairs. Understand? It is within the being divine in universal harmony with all that is. Understand? It is the activation of the divine being in resonance of the quantum crystalline field. The separation must take place by osmosis before the final collective meeting. Must occur to allow the final merger within the all that is. This is who you are. It is the I am that I am. Our concentration in this matter, is to explain that you are alone. Try to recognize the purpose of this loneliness. If you are living a relationship, you must perfect it with beauty, with a greater love not dependent. You will find that the love expands and the relationship becomes more splendid independently, as ye are finding that the dependency relationships are too unbalanced like roads of a single via to fail. In sovereignty humanity will see up herself in this benchmark as whole and not the property of his companion or half-orange. Each relationship will provide your full SCR, a strong flow of energy. A poorly currently usual. There are agreed points that allow for freedom of choice and change, even if the change means end this relationship. In sovereignty individuals share the best of themselves without compromising their ideals. Each will recognize the divinity of the other and keep the being integrity. Fulfill your promises, preferences and choices of a new paradigm and find ways and opportunities for adaptation and capacity to review the terms. This will allow better recognition of be. It is designed to prevent energy blockage and reduce dysfunctional marriages and divorce complications. You see? Accordingly, certainly some relationships will last a lifetime. Others do not. But the archetype of sovereignty better support both, based on choice and mutual agreement of the terms of each person. So this independence becomes joyful, without a companion dominant to impose their views, their morality and will over the other. Currently most of humanity does not recognize, nor truly understands your soul, your divine self. The masses unfortunately be regulating as the realm of ego personality. It is true that on the planet now awakened, a higher degree of light quotient ever. It is also true that it is the highest that has happened at all times, but still reaches only 10% those who woke in a population of more than 8 billion. It is enough to attract the rise but there is still much to do. In the new paradigm, religion should be individualized, must truly recognize the nature of the being, the nature of the divine soul. None of the world religions now truly answer these questions. None of them answered the questions about the multidimensional cosmic extraterrestrial origins of man, and this must be understood in this new paradigm. None of the current traditional religions can express, correctly and completely, the true history of man on Earth. Therefore there is no true religion on the planet today. Most buy up or sell up according to pre-established regulated models. Each hereby acknowledges the paths that lead to God, be able to show the path that leads to God, though no truly does. Each has its dogma, its hierarchy and control. At present, humans seek God more fervently than at any other time on the planet, and this demand by itself has the potential to bring the light. Few religious teachers are really masters. They may be scholars, but they are not true masters, understand? Others are rhetorical profession, including metaphysics and of what they call New Age. Few of those who claim to channel ascended masters or angels, really do. When you do not preserve the integrity, connection with the true spirit turns off, and all humans are subject to act with integrity and without it. Really the path to ascension is the ability of each soul has to raise its own higher self. Look within you and found your own divinity within your heart. Do not follow blindly any guru, evangelist, plumber or spiritual leader, but the U.S. Accept only what your judgment tells you and that resonates with you, dear, not deliver your power to others. Each of you can and must channel your higher self. Study, look, listen, review and only accept what resonates with you. Teachers, the way to divine the sacred sovereignty of the U.S. and Ascension, the way the higher self is by very definition, in search of that aspect of God within you, with the great desire that is rooted in every soul. Study, seek, work. Are warriors of light within duality, because the real battles for self-masters are inside. The path is not easy. But within the U.S. as the master lies a splendid energy that will drive everything we need to move forward, and there is another level above each of that amount. Consciousness expands forever. Discover your path. Find out yourself. I love you. Love each other. Love the divinity within you and within all. Discover the multidimensional aspects of your true soul. That is the nobility of solitude. Although sometimes the way results quite difficult and lonely, know that this is the challenge of duality, because up there you are whole, complete, not lacking in anything. At the highest realm, masters, you are in your sacred nature of integral wholeness, of full and abundant happiness. We are always with you. We offer you unconditional love. We ask you to treat each other yourself and with love and respect. We respect you. I am METATRON, Lord of Light. And I share with you these truths. You are very loved.